Welcome to the Pump and Dump channel. In this video I want to talk about Dynagas LNG Partners LP preferred B shares. Preferred A's also exist and the common also exists too. So this is the LP, the common units. You can see they are up 9%, the preferreds are up almost 24%, and the reason why that is, it's not shown in the news feed, but someone posted it in here. There we go. They managed to refinance the debt that was weighing heavily on the company. There were concerns about whether they would be able to refinance the debt. Basically, the A and the B, they pay a dividend, and in the case, of course, that they couldn't refinance the debt, they would be in a situation where they would probably be insolvent and have to declare bankruptcy. But in terms of being able to refinance, I checked back in May because I had accumulated shares in the B around here at 28. No, in the A I accumulated shares in the A at 2085 all the way down, and I had some average of 19 something, and I started accumulating the B2 because I starting to arbitrage the differential in the dividend on the A versus the B. And back in May, you know, when I was looking more seriously at it, after this drop here, I bought some more. I got back, you know, I got a bigger position. I switched somewhere in the last few months, probably in June or July. I switched from the A into the B because there was a discrepancy in the yield that the B offered over the A, being 2% higher. And I thought, you know, I'll take that 2% increased yield. The reason, of course, for the increased yield is because in 4 years' time, I think it is, the preferred B will change its fixed dividend payment to a floating dividend, which will be comprised of a fixed rate plus you know, a variable rate based on US LIBOR. Of course, US LIBOR is going to be removed from the or how do you call it? It's going to be they're going to cease to use it, and of course there are questions what they're going to replace it with. We'll see about that, but the reason, of course, it went down into the toilet was worries about being able to refinance the debt. And I was, you know, accumulating it here. I was sitting on the unrealized loss, and you know, in the toilet. Not so long ago, it did this spike down, 1450. I bought some more shares. I sold those shares I bought at 1450 for 1670 or 90, can't remember, yesterday. And I sold them because I thought, you know, if this doesn't work out, I might need to, you know, lessen the risk. Now, of course, the people who were buying from me, they probably had inside information and knew that it was going to happen, that the refinancing was going to be announced today. And as the news came in, you can see the preferred shares are up 24%. The common units are now up 17%. The key thing is I analyzed the company back in May more thoroughly. I did not believe in buying and holding the common units because the common units were essentially valueless. There was no net present value left to fill the common units. Of course, the common units is up today. Sentiment is strong, but whether you know, you get 15% on the pop today or 24%, anyone would argue that 24% is better, especially when you have a dividend on this one. However, this is the problem with the common units, and why, even though they are rallying now, it's a selling opportunity and not a buying opportunity. There is mention here of a yield of 25 cents, but they had to, and they mentioned this in their previous conference calls in May, June, July, it doesn't really matter. They mentioned previously that in order to get the refinancing, it would involve getting rid of the common distribution on the common units, and therefore this going up here is people who are buying into the momentum, and they're being a bit foolish because they're not going to get any distribution, and the only way they can make money on this stock in the long term is if the company in a couple of years time manages to sign its re-sign, let's call it, its contracts for the LNG carriers that it operates at higher rates. And you know, if the company is not going to pay any dividends over the next, say, 8 years, and the net present value of the company is already nothing, why buy that instead of buying the preferred shares? So I kind of bought the preferred shares based on that. Of course, you could say that you could have made 50 cents on this, so 50% there. But you can see also here you made 50%, plus you got a dividend whilst you were waiting here. I was, of course, waiting until until today for this finally to come to fruition and show me again. I'll make a screenshot in case anyone really cares or doesn't believe me, because some people they won't believe you until they see it. So where's my position here? Dynagas, there we go. So you can see in my account here I have 120 shares left of it. At 20 it shows, 20 or 3, doesn't matter. I'm up quite nicely on the shares. Maybe if I had more conviction in my trade, I would have had a lot more in terms of the position, but this is kind of the value of the position that I have. If you look at it, that's in euros here, this amount in euros. So yeah, it's kind of like almost 5% of my portfolio, this position. So in terms of the risk management, I had it as high as 2,500 probably at the peak, but it's of course important to position yourself correctly. What do I think going forward? I think that this here, oh yeah, that's going back down. It's going back down because people are recognizing there is no value in this stock. But anyway, just yeah, I don't know what to, I'm just going to keep the video focused on this rather than going over other topics. There we can see the announcement. They have refinanced the debt. Let's see if they mention distributions in here. Under the terms, partnership will be restricted from paying distribution to common unit holders while borrowing outstanding under the credit facility. Yeah, so scheduled distributions to preferred unit holders under the existing A and B will not be restricted, provided there is no event of default while the credit facility remains outstanding. So going forward, I don't see them defaulting in the near term. I don't know what the duration is of this this loan. Let's see if they mention years. Over 5 years in 20 consecutive payments. Okay, so 5 years of repaying this loan. Where do I see this? This probably is going to be relatively strong for at least 2 years, I would say. Dividend is around 11% given this here. The of course the prospectus, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the prospectus mentions that after in about 4 years time or so that this fixed rate of dividend will change to a fixed plus floating variable, which will be it will be probably lower given where we are at now, but if US LIBOR increases then it could be higher. So of course we need to base upon what we can get now out of the stock and for the duration that we hold it. So I'm going to leave it with that. You can see Antero Resources under 390, so I made the right call before when I sold, and I'm going to leave it with that then for this video. Remember to leave comments whether you want to say that I'm bragging too much or whatever, but I like to share these kind of successes I occasionally have. And yeah, that's kind of difference between trading and a long-term investment. This was an investment, not a trade. Antero Resources is more of a trade. This is more of an investment. And yeah, I'm going to leave it with that. Remember to subscribe if you want to be notified when I put out these videos, and have a good day.